Hello and welcome, my name is Carynx and welcome back to Dark Souls 3. Right, when I left off the last video, you may have noticed I had a few less souls on me than I do now. And back then I also was still embered, which I am evidently no longer. Let's just say there has been a rather scintillating incident between me, a certain hollow, and a ladder. Yeah, I did go back to the High Wall of Lothric off camera, like I said, and did another tour of the hollows there in order to hopefully get my hands on some deserted trousers, which right at the very last hollow as I made my way back to Firelink Shrine was kind enough to drop me. I already have them equipped, as you can see. But yeah, we are done with the High Wall of Lothric, in theory at least. I will be doing one more co-op session before we leave the area, just to get warmed up, I suppose. Well, I should already be warmed up really, after the grinding I just did. Anyway, I've got a few more item descriptions to read. Not entirely sure which ones though. I'm pretty sure I didn't take a look at this one yet, the Undead Hunter Charm. It's a tool used to hunt down the undead. Blocks Estus recovery within a limited area, used long ago by Lloyd's clerical knights on the undead hunts. Although old Father Lloyd is long forgotten by the way of white, his hands have lived on, and his charm allows one to challenge undead without the fear of tenacious healing. Yeah, if you manage to hit a player in PvP, but really it works on mobs as well, if you manage to hit them point blank in the face, it'll stop the use of both the Estus and Ashen Estus Flask for, I think it's 20 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. It requires some really precise aim though, so the more useful application of this thing is gonna be to stun mimics, to have an easier drop on them. Also, Soul of Boreal Valley Vault, our first boss soul. One of the Twisted Souls, steeped in strength. Used to acquire many souls, or transposed to extract its true strength. Vault served as an outrider knight, never far from the fleeting dancer. Which is a boss that we're going to be fighting well later on in the game. The Duns of the Boreal Valley. Then again, you could already find it early on, though I don't fancy my chances against them. Titanite Shard, I have one of them that I dropped off one of the hollows I killed, but unfortunately I'm gonna need 4 of them to get anything to +2. So many raw gems. And the Refined Gem, which creates refined weapons. Forge the weapons of Lothric Knights. Hence are the Blue Knight dropped it, I imagine. Use an infusion to create refined weapons, which are difficult to wield properly and scale effectively with strength and dexterity. Yeah, it's not that useful of an infusion. Most weapons will perform better by being all out heavy or sharp, meaning either fully under strength or dexterity. But on 40-40 strength dex quality build like what we are going for, there are some lower scaling weapons that will benefit from being refined, including the particular weapon that I'm going for is definitely going to benefit from being refined more than being heavy or sharp. Anyway, don't think about the cell key either yet, did we? It's the one that we used to get Greyrat busted out. Key to cell holding thieves and the like. There's no shortage of brush thieves in Lothric, and these particular thieves likely scaled the wall from the Undead settlement. But they're only willing to practice their thievery on the high wall for the fear of Lothric Castle, rumoured to devour men, keeps them clear of its grounds. And there's a small Lothric banner which I got from Emma. That thing has seen better days. Small banner held by Lothric messengers, hold up outside the main castle gate to be greeted by an escort. When the high wall appeared, and the path to the Undead settlement was blocked, and the messengers came bearing this banner, they were sent out of a duty, but had no way of returning. Interesting tidbit to mention the high wall appearing. I'm guessing at some point the castle didn't have this massive wall surrounding it. And the bridge that we see outside probably connected directly to it before it became decrepit as it is now. Soul arrow, we've definitely seen that. A couple of new weapons in here, including the mail breaker. Yeah, still have only level 15. I'm forgetting this is a solo playthrough. I'm not with friends here where we're doing everyone's world over and over again, so I don't have as many souls as would usually have accumulated by now. Anyway, a sword made for thrusting attacks. And this hard edgeless sword can pierce through tough armor and boasts a deadly critical attack. Skill being Shield Splitter. Aim carefully and attack in a large forward lunge to pierce through enemy shields and inflict damage directly. I think it mostly just unloads a lot of stamina damage on someone guarding against this weapon art. That's a good critical modifier though, 125 compared to 110. I'm pretty sure it's also the starting weapon for the sorcerer in Dark Souls 3. And the broadsword, which used to be the start of the knight back in the first game. A straight sword with a broad blade, designed for slashing. A large sweeping attack makes this effective against crowds, but is prone to deflection from walls and narrow spaces. And has the standard stance attack. It has a very wide roundabout swing and moveset for itself, which makes it an interesting weapon, but I still prefer the longsword personally. Then we've got your Stora straight sword returning once again. It looks a bit more tender compared to the longsword, doesn't it? Anyway, a well-crafted sword named after the ruined land. Astora, before its fall, was a land replete with royal blood, and this weapon is both a reminder and heirloom of that era. And once again, standard lunge. Let's have a faith requirement for some reason, which is interesting. It did make sense originally in the first game because it was a special weapon that's basically pre-infused as a divine weapon, or blessed as it's called in DS3. But I believe here it's just a bog standard straight sword really, with nothing special to it. So I don't really see why it still has the faith requirement. I guess it's just one of those legacy things they decided to carry over, yeah. And the Claymore. That's pretty much the most iconic greatsword you're gonna find in the series. And they're usually large and heavy greatsword, normally wielded with two hands. And this highly versatile weapon can be swung broadly or thrusted. Yes, it basically has the straight sword moveset, but it's a greatsword. And it's still quite fast when it comes to attack speed, so it's a lovely weapon to have if you prefer heavy duty weapons. And we've got the Rapier, a lightweight thrusting sword used in noble duels, employing refined techniques. The primary attack of a thrusting sword is a series of stabs that render foes vulnerable for devastating final thrust. It can also attack with shield up. And this has a bit of a different stance. You can either do a kind of backstab and lunge back forward, or you can do a stabby spam attack. Both of them easy to parry and quite predictable in PvP, unfortunately. I do wonder, regarding all of these weapons that can use with a shield up. I think when using those kind of weapons and attacking while the shield is up, it uses the guard absorption from the weapon rather than the shield. Never really tried that, just something I heard. The Uchigatana, we've had this for a while. The Great Axe is new, resembling a hunk of raw iron. Yes, in one of my last playthroughs I went all out in the strength, and was rocking a great shield together with this axe. Combined with the Warcry weapon, it does some insane damage, even though it's not even fully upgraded yet. It's easily hitting 800 weapon damage against the Downs of the Royal Valley. Pretty sure I had another buff going alongside the Warcry though. Sacred Oath, I believe. Probably. Should factor that in as well. Yeah, if one possesses the inhuman strength required to lift a weapon, and the great heft of its attacks will send foes flying. However, since every swing makes use of one's entire body, attacks leave the wielder wide open to retaliation. Yeah, seriously heavy hitting weapon, but you do need to have good aim. Lothric Knight's Spear. Long spear wielded by the proud Lothric Knights, designed for long-range thrusting. Lothric Spear Knights are known for their steadfastness, and this spear boosts the poise of its wielder. Interesting detail. And it has the standard charge attack that some larger spears have. Use strong attack will charge and extend the length of the charge. Yeah, it's a lot of dex to use. And the Lucerne. That's one of my more favorite early game heavy weapons. Pole arm with a sharp, hard-pronged head inflicts thrust attacks. The Lucerne is wielded overhand like a hammer, or can be swung from the side to break through shields. Yeah, it's basically like a halberd with a bit more of I'm gonna say unique moveset. And the skill Spin Sweep. Sweep foes in large spinning motion and utilize momentum transition to the overhand strong attack smash. Yeah, this shite is powerful early on in PvP because it's a true combo. Pretty sure that it applies to all the weapons that have the Spin Sweep weapon nut. And we've got the Winged Knight Halberd, wielded by the Winged Knights who sow themselves to the angels. And the thick, heavy bloodstained blade can only be swung by one of inhuman strength. And inhuman body mass, I guess. Chain spin. Sweep foes in large spinning motion, use strong attack to continue the motion as stamina is exhausted. Well, pretty deadly from the NPC. Never seen it really used in player versus player combat though, so I'm not sure. Anything new here? Oh yeah, definitely. The Iron Round Shield. Picked this one up while I was out farming. An orthodox round small shield made from metal. Small shields offer little damage absorption stability, but they're lightweight and ideal for parrying. And it's also one of the best parry shields you're gonna find early game. Only outclassed later on by the... don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it actually. The leveling shield. Whatever, the one that's dropped by Horus. And we have the Silver Eagle Kite Shield. An orthodox metal shield engraved with a crest, depicting a silver eagle. Medium shields are the most average of shields, providing practical balance of damage absorption, stability and weight. And they're trash for parrying on my end, because I'm already not great at parrying. Which is good, because this one has the weapon skill ability. Equipping the shield in the left hand allows one to perform the skill of the right-handed weapon. Translation, you basically can use the weapon out of your weapon without having the two-handed first. And I've got the Lothric Knight Shield. I did read that one already. I remember talking about the lightning resistance on that thing. Which only leaves the Thief Mask and the Deserter Trousers, I believe. Mask worn by those with something to hide. Used to conceal a face, muffle their voice, and to go by the cover of darkness. Lothric Knight armor. Looks like the icon there comes together with a scabbard for a blade. And here they are, the Deserter Trousers. Common soldier's trousers. It is a musty rusted hunk of metal, but it's one reduced to thievery. Or myself. Not for thievery's sake though. I assure you. Oh yeah, and we have the Way of Blue. Don't think I've read this one yet. Pale blue sheepskin parchment, featuring an illustration of the moon, symbol of an ancient accord. Members of the Way of Blue are the beneficiaries of an ancient accord. When dark spirit threatens them, a blue spirit will grant them assistance and help them root out the invader. Summoning takes place automatically while this is equipped. Yeah, basically another thing they took over from Dark Souls 2. I think it even was called the Way of the Blue back in DS2. I don't remember. In any case, while it's equipped, when you have an invader present and available co-op spots, they're gonna be filled with lower level blue phantoms. Right, I have almost 12k souls. What to spend them on is the question.
Ah, well, how may I?
Well, I'm going to buy one more of your embers. I'm also going to stock up on a few more of those. I have plenty of fire bombs, I'm fine on those, but I am going to get myself some bolts. I'm gonna do the wooden ones too.
Ashen one.
I've already equipped them, good. I would prefer the wooden ones to be on the main attack button though, and the standard ones on the heavy attack button. And the remainder of my souls I'm going to contribute toward leveling up.
Welcome home, I shall speak then. Very well, then touch the pig now.
Still got a few more points to distribute. One here, a few of them here, and we're 19. Just one level left to get. Yeah, like I said last time, I think my next point is gonna be into... In general, for the Undead settlement, we'll be going up to level 30 to remain within the co-op range, of course. That means I have 11 more points to spend. Definitely gonna get achievement up to... It needs to go up to 14 to give me a second slot. Yes, I'm gonna get that to 14, Vitality to 15. That's 9 points already, and the remaining 2 can go into Vigor. How about that? I don't need an Intelligence of Faith. Yeah, sounds like a plan for now.
Ashen one. May the flames guide thee.
Right, let's go back to the high wall of Lafrique. And again, some better judgment, get ourselves embered again. If we manage to land a curve where we're gonna beat the boss at least. I'm not going to deliberately ember myself. 11 already, nice. You know, looking at these things here, the tree branches with the hollow stack on them. There's a little thought I had when I was playing for Lafrique Castle the last time. If you compare the early game area to what's essentially the base game, almost final area, these butterflies that appear later in the game, they kinda look like this too, don't they? And it looks like all of these things are... Yeah, look, they're all... They are, aren't they? They're all pointing toward the tower and the Grand Archives. Yeah, just a moment, we'll check the ones that are lined up down below here as well. Yeah, look at that. And the common holders are praying to them. Some of them look to be turned in different directions, but most of them seem to be facing the tower at the Grand Archives, which is completely surrounded by these butterflies when you actually get there. I wonder about the implication here. At any rate, I'm going to shut down my summon sign. Nice and easy. And we just begin making our way through here, I believe. I'll keep the short sword equipped for now, but once we actually get out of this area, I'm going to swap it to the long sword. Just reckon if I happen to get a co-op session in here, it would be useful to keep the short sword. Or maybe keep it until we've dealt with the dogs in the Undead settlement as well, since it gets stunned from the fire damage. Where's Big Axe Boy? All the way down here. Let's go deal with the halberd man first then. Hello. Let's see if you're going to be summoned anytime soon. I don't really want to sit around here for a long time, of course, so if we don't get summoned, I'm gonna move on. Oh, there we go. I was just admiring the low resolution effect of the pathway to Emma's boss room down there. Well, hello, sword. Nice beard, bro. Loving it. Alright, you go worry about that one, I'll go worry about the alert man. Oh, Dragon Juke. Oh, seems like he already drove the dragon off. Yeah, dragon's already gone. Ah, Mimic. I was gonna point down at him. Stamina. I do appreciate the 100% damage block shield. I really do. Yeah, when I enter a ladder at the same time, it tends to bug out. And it's nice getting a host that knows what he's doing though. I'll make a lot better progress than when you have those that are still figuring out what they're doing. Which sounds a lot more dickish than they was supposed to come off. I like playing with new players as well. Jeez, I already ran through this way. We both had the same idea, I guess. It's one way to do it. Oh, hey, invader, that's fun. Come on, waltz in the boy. Gonna make sure this one doesn't get in our way. Wait, it still managed? How the fuck? That's not good. The fuck, how did he manage to get a heal off like that? It's ridiculous. Holy shit, how the fuck am I alive? I'm gonna climb up here because I don't have any health. Ah, crap. Well, it's bound to happen eventually. Yeah, good job, we got the Phantom down. Oh, that's not good. You got parried. That is very not good. It was just an unfortunate spot we got invaded at. I kinda screwed up there. I thought the thing was dead and didn't meant to transform, but evidently it did. Made for an interesting combat arena though. Either way, it is time that we leave the High Wall of Lothric behind and turn our attention toward the Undead settlement. Ah, come on, that third one was just out of range. Fuck off. No, from the bottom of my heart, really. Now I happen to get multiple drops of these things. But that's how it usually goes here. When you're actively looking for something, you're not gonna get it. But once you have a surplus, well, that surplus is soon gonna turn into a stockpile. Right, back in Ward's bus room we are. Just realized I could have teleported here, couldn't I? Well, it's a few more souls for the road. Don't mind not being ambered anyway, because I don't really want to be invaded. Anyhow, here we are, at long last. Cinematic camera effect. And there's our entire journey all mapped out in front of us. Right, there's the Undead settlement. Note that the bridge is broken. Suppose one day it must have connected all the way into Lothric Castle prior to the wall being a thing. Down yonder this way we have Farron Keep. And right over there, that building being the boss room of the Abyss Watchers. On the way off in the distance there, we've got Erifil of the Boreal Valley. And this place, well, judging by what the buildings look like, I guess this could be Archdragon Peak. Seems to be a lot of stuff all the way in the back there, or is it just mountaintops? Can't really tell. That's the big tower that leads on down into the Road of Sacrifices, which in turn leads us to the Farron Swamp. And over this way we have the Cathedral of the Deep. Not the first time we're laying eyes on that building. And look at you, all the way in the back there. There's something more back there. Not a castle of some kind, a township maybe. And that's the glistening sea. Wonder what a little town at the back is. What could that be, logically speaking? Well, it couldn't be the profaned capital, could it now? Because the Abyss Watcher boss room is over that way, which in turn leads into the catacombs, which mount into Iryfil of the Boreal Valley, which is over this way, and you can also see the river over there that flows through Iryfil. So the profaned capital would, if in any way visible on the surface, be somewhere off into the direction to the left here. I'm really curious what this place over in the distance is supposed to be. I don't think we'll be going there at any point. But yeah, let's go and continue our journey. I think I also just found my outro shot for the series. Yeah, these fun guys are back. Of all the creatures that decided to reuse, they went with these stupid little things. Would have been more badass if they used the bell gargoyles coming out of nowhere to drag you down here. Both that and the appearance of this thing here on this tower that we land on is very reminiscent of Anor Londo. Lots of crows atop here, isn't there? Anyway, I'm gonna light the bonfire and might as well rest here so I get my resources back. And the foot of the high wall. Right, I'm gonna say it one more time, but that'll be the last time I will bring it up. Every time I come to a new area, I'm gonna try to get the co-op session in, and when we're done with an area, I will try to get another co-op session in. That is the system I will try to maintain as we go through the game. But for now I'm gonna clear up over this way, get Yol to Firelink Shrine, and I will put my summon sign down once we make it to the next bonfire. Which, looking at the time, might well be in the next episode. I was about to say second episode. Second one that I will be recording today. That's kind of diabolical. But I have a fire sword. You have nothing on me, dogs. Right, let's go for Yol first. Alluring skulls. Funny.
Please, grant me death. Undo my shackles.
Most of the Londo pilgrims have died here. Not sure to what end though. From up here you can even see the fires down in Faron Keep burning. And you can also see items over that way. Don't remember what's on this corpse, but another one in front of you that you can barely see at the front of the dead wyvern is the sunlight spear miracle. Lots of dead wyvern lying around the place. Well, it'll be some time before we get that way. Some time indeed. And you would be Yoel of Londor. Let's talk.
Oh, then it's true. A champion of Ash as I live and breathe. To be in your presence is a great honor. I am Yoel of Londor, a pilgrim as you can see, only somehow I failed to die as was ordained. Well, perhaps my calling lies elsewhere. Say, champion of Ash, how does the idea of taking me into your service strike you? I was once a sorcerer. Surely I can be of use.
Once, before we became a pilgrim, I assume. Either way, I will accept the service.
I am honored, truly. I should be dead, yet you have granted me purpose anew.
You're welcome.
I, Yoel of Londor, do solemnly swear myself to you.
And off to Filing Shrine he goes. Yeah, I suppose for our new game cycle, I'm going to aim for the Lord of Hollows ending. And so can I make out the little precipice from where I got brought down? I assume it's what I'm literally looking at right now. This low poly model in the back. Right, onward to get the other bonfire. This place looks creepy. And fantastic at the same time. Remember, the Undead settlement was one of those areas that was just geographically very overwhelming when I got through it the first time. There's like so much going on in this place and so many branching paths to take. But well, none of that matters right now. We're going to make a quick trip back to Filing Shrine. Can see a giant archer again. And bring his arrows down by the white birch tree. Right, yeah, we're going to go back to Filing Shrine. There's a couple of item descriptions to look at, and I should also be speaking to the NPCs again. Because since we've now unlocked a new area, they should also have a new dialogue around Filing Shrine. But we start off with the descriptions. Namely, the alluring skull. Don't have that many new items now, do I? A skull resplendent in the scent of souls, prepared by evangelists of the Cathedral of the Deep. Throw the shutters, bring souls which attract enemies. Not effective for all foes, but for the most important ones, it works. I think that already is all that I have. Yeah, that was everything already. Mind if I do? Right, the first person I should be going to is Yoel. Who is hiding down yonder here in this little corner? What's that he has on his stuff? It's either some kind of urn or an oil lantern of some sort, or a decanter of some kind. Anyway, let's talk for a second time.
Our champion of Ash, welcome home. This pilgrim, with a debt in death, hardly deserves to behold this divine flame. And I never would have, had you not taken me into your service. I thank you dearly for this, and assure you of my leal service.
You, that voice acting. It's great. Anyway, anything else to talk about?
As I have said, I was once a sorcerer. Alas, the magic of Londor is a far cry from the wonders of Vinheim. But I can teach you what I know. Perhaps, more importantly, I believe that I can help tease out your true strength. We pilgrims of Londor are keenly aware that those branded by the dark sign possess something quite special.
Becken. Right. The reason why I came to Joel directly is because I want to buy something from him, for which I have just put enough souls and noticed. It's going to be a bit before we get the pyromancy flame. And even when I do have my pyromancy flame, it's going to be a while until we get useful stuff like the Carthus Flame Max spell. So for the time being, I think it would be a worthwhile investment to get magic weapon, replace my soul arrow with this. Sorcery for casters who wield swords. Reinforces a right weapon with a magic. The power of the Sorcerer Swordsman of Vinheim is predicated upon this and a magic shield. Many warriors learn sorcery just for this enchantment. It's an interesting concept. If you want to buff the shield in the left, you need a catalyst in the right, but for the weapon you need a catalyst in the left and a weapon in the right. It's like intentionally designed in a way it would not be comfortable to use them together. Well, I suppose you couldn't even use them together if you wanted to, right? Not without cancelling out the effect of one or the other. Anyway, give me that magic weapon. And since I definitely don't have the souls to level up again, I might as well draw out my true strength.
Then shall we begin? Bearer of the dark sign, let your true strength shine.
3 level up. And I'm going to put it into attunement. Level up. And so it begins.
Be safe, champion of Ash.
And so it begins indeed. The Dark Sigil, first out of 8. A black, gaping hole in the flesh that resembles the brand of an undead. The darkness of humanity seeps from this bottomless pitch-black hole. The gap filled by the accumulation of the curse. This dark sigil will never heal, but there is a tale told of a firekeeper who returned from the abyss and brought great comfort to the bearer of the curse. Yeah, going forward, dying will cause us to go hollow in the long run. If this was a luck build, that would be beneficial to us, but I don't think that'll serve any gameplay purpose, not for our build. Right, 3 more people to speak to before we end the episode. The first of them being Hawkwood over here.
Ooh, yet to get in, eh? Good. The firekeeper must be twitching with delight. But what do you really know about these Lords of Cinder, these supposed legends? Let's take Aldrich for one, a right and proper cleric. Only he developed a habit of devouring men. He ate so many that he bloated like a drowned pig, then softened into sludge. So they stuck him in the Cathedral of the Deep, and they made him a Lord of Cinder, not for virtue, but for might. Such as a lord, I suppose. But here I ask, do we have a sodding chance?
Power is power, I suppose.
At the foot of Lothric Castle, an old path still runs below the tower in the Undead settlement. It was used to transport sacrifices to the Cathedral of the Deep. You should see where it leads, if you've the stones for it.
We will, eventually.
At the foot of it was used if
We will eventually explore this path, referring to the Road of Sacrifices, of course. Ladlef, I'm pretty sure since we've now come to the end of settlement, you should have new dialogue available as well.
Fret not, fret not. My feet are here firmly planted. For I am a lord, and this is my throne.
You could be crawling off on the owner found your feet, seeing they don't seem to be attached anymore.
Listen, this might pique thine interest. Before I was a Lord of Cinder, I was a student of transposition, the process of extracting and coalescing the essence of a soul. A forbidden art that once left a foul stain upon Corlin's honor. 'Tis an art that grants powers once thought unattainable. Most transposing kilns were lost with Corland, but this place is a crossing for all manner of cursed objects. If thou happenest upon a transposing kiln, bring it to me, quick.
And of course it's convenient to mention that when we get into the same area that we can find the kiln in, right?
Now, do not be away over long.
Yeah, it's basically turning souls, boss souls, into boss weapons. In a bit more comfortable fashion than they worked in the first game as well, I must say. Going back to DSR now, I keep drawing parallels between these two games, and I find really a lot of systems that DS3 did better than DSR. Anyway, you, Leonhard or whatever your name was, we should speak.
Unkindled are we, and fast on the trail of the Lords absconded. Then these red eyes are for you. Use them to pillage embers and briefly heighten your strength for your duty. What else are unkindled ashes good for?
That's one way to look at it.
Pillage embers for briefly heightened strength for your duty. What else are unkindled ashes good for?
I realize another path leading to embers would be cordial intrusion, aka Charlie cooperation. But yeah, the invasion system, it's something worth thinking about. Maybe we will give that an attempt as well, eventually. But I don't particularly excel at PvP, so I don't know how much I want to be in the place of an invader. Either way, here they are. 5 cracked radii orbs, which allows a single invasion of another world. Seems to be an eye visible as well. Like it's called cracked, but Doesn't much at all left of that orb anymore. It's really shattered, isn't it? At any rate, defeat the host of embers of the world you've invaded to gain the strength of fire. The cracked red orb is far from perfect, it seems, as the ring finger Leonhard knows all too well. Yeah, it's like that first hit which you get for free. And well, that's enough for now though. I am going to be leaving the episode here, and I will see you next time.